now we can go live to a youth project in South East London, where the Deputy Prime Minister is waiting to talk to us about his plan to pay businesses and charities for getting young people into work. In England, good to see you this morning. This sounds like a good plan and a good idea to get youngsters into work, but maybe it's a concern that it's only going to help some 55,000 unemployed youngsters when there are well over 1 million unemployed under 24, so not really going to make a big dent in the problem.
Well, no, let's remember this is part of a much bigger thing called the Youth Contract, which I announced back in November last year, which will start in April, which will help 500,000 youngsters, the biggest programme of assistance for young people who are out of work and out of training and out of education for a very long period of time. This is just one bit of it, and the bit that I'm talking about today is the bit that will help 16 and 17-year-olds, the real youngsters who have left school, don't have any GCSEs, aren't in work, aren't in training or education, are maybe just sort of sitting at home, and if we don't do something to help them, are in real danger of kind of falling off the edge of society. What this is all about, if you like, is to try and get them off the sofa, away from the television, if you like, and into the real world of work and education.
I don't think anyone would dispute that that's a good thing to do, to get youngsters into work. But the British Chamber of Commerce says that they're not sure about this plan because it's a big risk for companies to hire youths who haven't got any qualifications, haven't got any specific training. And you've allocated a big chunk of money for this. Would it not have been better to put them into getting them more qualifications and better training rather than, in a sense, you could argue, bribing companies to take them on?
No, I think we're slightly mixing things up. There's the whole issue of sort of work experience and making available to companies young people who can spend some weeks in a company to make sure that they get the habit of getting up in the morning, getting dressed, actually going out and working a full day. And this bit of the programme that I'm talking about, the £126 million, which is specifically being offered to local authorities, to organisations, to charities, to groups like the group I am here in South London, which work with youngsters, give them tailored one-to-one support to make sure they get out of the home and off the streets and into either education or on the way to getting a job.
I was actually being specific about what you were talking about. It's that they're saying they're concerned about, because it's quite a challenge, isn't it, to take on these youngsters?
Of course, it's a challenge. It's a challenge which I think everybody recognise we must meet. And if we don't help 16 and 17-year-olds who are completely kind of lost in terms of how they think about their future, at exactly a point in their life where they should be filled with a lot of hope and optimism about their future, are really just sitting at home with no prospect of what they should do next. It is a challenge, but we must help them, because if we don't help them at that age, their problems will only get greater later, and then we will spend, as a society, much more money later on helping them as the problems grow.